G'day, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm planning on saving you some heartache and avoiding some of the mistakes that I've made over the years when it comes to cold crashing and transferring beer out of your fermenter. Look, cold crashing's a great way to clarify your beer, but if you're using a non-pressurized fermenter, you might run into a problem, and that's suckback. So today I'll show you how to build a simple cold crash bag setup to prevent oxygen exposure, and also how to transfer beer to your kegs without needing a CO2 tank to push your beer around. We've got a lot to cover, so I'll catch you over the bench in a sec. Now, why do we need to do a closed transfer? Well, if you don't, you'll be exposing your beer to oxygen, which can lead to off flavours like cardboard and wet paper. Look, my first brewing book, The Complete Guide to Homebrewing in Australia, look, that was written back in 1995. And you know what it recommended? The exact transfer method that I'll show you in this video up here. Try not to cringe. But hey, it was a different time. Back then, the internet was full of advice telling us not to ferment in plastic buckets because of oxygen pickup. Instead, we were supposed to use a glass carboy and an auto siphon. Looking at you, America. The idea was that if you just purged your keg a couple of times with CO2 and opened it up, some magical blanket of CO2 would sit on top of your beer and protect it from the oxygen. Even the guys who sold me my first kegs told me that exact same wives' tale. And you know what? It's all bullshit. You can't convince me otherwise. A closed transfer is absolutely possible, even from a non-pressurized fermenter. And I can tell you, after I started transferring my beers, the oxidation, the flavours, the loss of hop character, and all that darkening of my beer all disappeared just like magic.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So my advice is be very careful about blindly trusting the books, particularly old ones, or the so-called experts on the internet. Now, I'm just waiting for someone to come in and tell me that they've been brewing since the dark ages and they've never had oxidation issues and that glass carboys are the only way to go. Sorry, you're probably from America and still think brewing a bag doesn't work and believe you need an 8-vessel system and not convinced that no chill won't give you botulism. To you, I say don't tighten your tinfoil hat too much when you put your hat back on. Let's dive down and get this thing set up. To assemble our closed loop transfer kit, we're going to need a few things. So I've got a barbed gas disconnect, a barbed liquid disconnect, an 8mm elbow. Now you pick them up from Bunnings, they're in the irrigation aisle, they're a couple of cents each. I've got a 9.5mm ball lock, a 9.5mm T-piece, a 1/2 inch to 9.5mm monotype connector, a crush clamp, a couple of smaller lengths of our Eva barrier 9.5mm tubing that I've pre-cut, some 1/2 inch silicone tubing, and again 2 lengths. Now I've got 1 metre and 1.5 metres pre-cut respectively here. So I guess we'll deal with the gas side first because that's going to be the easiest piece to do. So let's get rid of some stuff that we don't need. All right, so our gas side is pretty simple. All we're going to do is take our irrigation fitting, our irrigation elbow, and force that on to our silicone. And it doesn't have to go all the way, because you want to adapt this to the end of our 9.5mm beer line. About there is good enough. All right, then we're just going to slide that on to our 9.5mm beer line. Like that. And this piece will go into your airlock bung. On the other end of the gas line, we're just going to push in our barb fitting And there's no need for a crush clamp in this case because it's not going to be under any sort of pressure, maybe 1 or 2 psi. So that's our gas side set up. Now that we've got our gas sorted out, we'll get on to sorting our liquid line out. Now to do that, the first thing we're going to do is take our bore lock disconnect and feed that onto the smaller piece of 9.5mm gas line. Then this is going to feed into our T-piece. Then off the T-piece on this end, we're going to put our slightly longer piece of 9.5mm beer line. Then onto that, we're going to feed on our tap. And what that's going to do is allow us to bleed the excess oxygen and gunk out of the line. Now, down on this end, we're going to feed in our threaded piece and take some of that silicon tubing, that 1/2-inch silicon tubing, and we're going to feed that into a stainless steel nut. Now on this end, all I've done is I've cut off a piece of a bottling wand and crush clamped that into that 1/2-inch silicon tubing. Now how that works is you'll be able to push that up into your snap tap and transfer the beer without it being exposed to oxygen. That just screws onto there. Like that. Now, because our homemade fermenter's got a funny tap and it won't fit, we're going to still keep this because we'll be able to use it. I've got different types of fermenters. And we're just going to come in and put another piece of that 3/8 silicon tubing. Oh, if I can get it to fit. I'm going to work that additional piece of 3/8 silicon tubing down, and that'll allow us to connect that up to our homemade fermenter. Then on this end, what we're simply going to do is push that into that duo-tight T-piece, and that's that good to go. So our liquid will come down through here into this connector without being exposed to oxygen, and we'll show you how it all works in a second. So that's us, that's our gravity transfer kit. Now all that's got to happen is that's going to get dunked into a bucket of sanitizer, and we're going to run sanitizer obviously through the beer line before we even look at transferring any beer with this setup. So I've just been cold crashing our beer. Now that's got one of those elbow pieces fitted up to a T, down to an aquarium check valve, and this is just a water bladder that I picked up from Anaconda, and that's just fitted on there with some of that nylon tubing. Now the go is we hook this up, allow the tube to purge with CO2 from the fermentation. This check valve stops anything flowing back. Initially we start with the bag deflated and the valve closed, and then when we cold crash, we open the valve on the bag, and that allows nothing but CO2 to get sucked back in to this headspace when the air inside the fermenter shrinks down. So this is how we're set up. First thing we're going to do is grab our gas line, get rid of our cold crashing bag, we don't need that anymore. Then we'll come in and fit our gas line, just like that. Righto, we're going to deal with our liquid line. Righto, we're going to fit that to our tap. We'll give the tap a bit of a squirt with some Star Sand. And fit our liquid line on the tap. Then we're going to put our liquid disconnect into our clean jug. And I'll just give that a shot of Star Sand as well. Hang that off the side there. Get our liquid line into here. Now we're going to connect our gas line. Okay, and with our liquid line, we're just going to open our ball valve. Open our tap. Start that beer flowing, the first little bit of gunk you don't worry about. Righto. So our beer line's now completely purged. Now it's important that we have the receiving keg lower than the fermenter, and we'll hook that up to the beer. And through the magic of gravity, that'll start transferring. I'll bring you down so you can have a bit of a closer look. Now, how this works is just the gravity is feeding that liquid. That little burst of pressure starts to siphon for us. And we transfer the beer from the fermenter into the keg. Now it's just a matter of waiting for that liquid to displace that CO2 in that keg. And as our liquid comes up, the CO2 will flow out of this disconnect and back up into the top of our fermenter. That's nearly there on our first one, and we'll swap that over in a sec. Swap these kegs over for the next one. On with our beer disconnect. On with our gas disconnect. That siphon will start again. Now, I've got these in this bucket because these OxyBar kegs, till they get a bit of weight in them, they're quite unstable and they'll fall over. But if you put them in a bucket, that just stops that from happening. All right, this one will just complete, and then we'll do the third one, doing the exact same process. And that's how it looks. That's probably a better angle there. With this setup, you can cold crash without oxygen exposure and transfer to a keg without CO2. It's a great way to improve your home brew without any of the expensive gear. Look, thanks again to all of you who recently subscribed, and if you take nothing else away from this video, remember to fact check the advice that you've been given or read in that old book that you found at the library from 30 years ago. That includes from some random bald guy talking to you on YouTube. Look, if you found this video useful, smash the like button, give us a thumbs up,
and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when I've got a new video ready for you. Look, I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, remember, life's too short to drink dodgy beers. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's good.